Hey guys, just back with another csharp.net tutorial. I've switched to Rider by Jetbrains. It's actually it's a lot faster actually than Visual Studio, probably because it's more lightweight. But it still has a lot of the same features. So I thought that the designer window would be missing. It's still here. It has all the properties, and it has the toolbox on the right side. So I think it's just one of these tabs on the right, if you can see that, and then you just click system.windows forms. It has these kind of normal tools. If you want more, I believe you can load them in by clicking manage toolbox at the top. You can download the extra. I think you might have to download them, or just hit the checkboxes. We'll try these first. So on the left side we have basically the Solutions Explorer. So if you're wondering, so we have the code here as well. So we just drag these when we need them. But pretty much, I think this, I didn't update it yet. I think it's only using 4.8, .NET 4.8. You can update it. I did it before on another computer, so you just have to click somewhere in the settings just to find those. So we have everything with the using laid out normally, so we can type that out, or we can just leave them. We have the code here, pretty simple to use. Yeah, so it's pretty simple, so we'll just get into the code. So I'm in the .cs file. So if you want to download this, you just have to go to just Google Rider and sign up with a Jetbrains account if you have a student email. If you don't, they have a free trial. I'm not sure how many times you can do the free trial. If not, just if your free trial expires, you can just use Visual Studio. It's the same thing. This just works faster for me. I personally like Jetbrains software. I've been using them for all my languages. I switched over from Visual Studio and VS Code. It just seems to work a little bit better. I will give Visual Studio a bit more points for this area here. They looked a little bit better. I think the code colors are good. Maybe using Rider or ReSharper Plus. I switched from Rider to ReSharper Plus. The theme, they have different themes in here. You can download more themes, whatever you want. It's kind of plain, but it doesn't look too bad. I think the colors on the side are kind of boring, just kind of a gray color. I'll give Visual Studio more points for that. Anyways, let's get into where we left off. So now we'll use code to display output in a label control. So in addition to displaying text on a form, label controls are also useful for displaying output. So we can basically display the result of a calculation in a label. You can click a label. You can click a label, get it to change, probably do other things with it as well. So let's, I think we made something, but I'm using a different file now, so I'll have to recreate that. So what we can do here is we can find the toolbox on the right side. Alright, so then we can click on system.windows forms. And I'll double click the label. Not sure if I'm supposed to drag that or just double click it. One or the other. So we did get it popped up. So the text is quite small. We can change that. Oops, what happened there? Okay, so I think when you double click it, basically the event handler popped up. So can I Control Z that? Yeah, okay, so you can Control Z that for now if you want. So we have our label here. So we will get to the text property. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to change the size of the properties. I was able to change the size of everything else except for the properties. So that is in, sorry, let me just pull my screen a little bit closer to me. Okay, so we have, looking for text, the layout's a little bit different than Visual Studio. Text, here we go. So we just need to pull that a little bit more to the left. Perhaps move that a little bit over as well. No, that is much space as it needs. Nope, maybe a little bit more. Oh. Okay, that's always gonna be too much. You can't see everything here. You can, I think, if you okay, so if you double click it, you can see what it is. Well, that did work. Okay, that works. Okay, perfect. So we have minus the size. It's kind of small to see, but we just need to find text. We had it a second ago. I just think it's right in there, so we'll just move over here. Okay, so we have text right there, I think. So let's just delete that. Okay, so the text is gone. So what we will do is we will so we won't display anything when the application runs. That can also be changed in the constructor. So if you want something to run right when you, so this is the constructor here for the form. Okay, whoops, sorry, something's wrong with my keyboard. Let me just change that. Okay, so this is the constructor for the class, which basically, what does a constructor do? It sets up the object. So constructors set up the object, we'll talk about that later on. So this is the constructor for the form1 partial class, which is a class in the namespace Windows Forms app 1. Right, so now we're going back to the designer. So we could change the, so you could write statements to perform a calculation and then store the result of the calculation in the labels, label controls text property. But for now we could just change the text. Anything's fine. Okay, so the text is pretty small. We can change the size of the text. How do we do that before we did that last time? Was there 3 ellipses we had to click on somewhere? Don't worry about that for now. We'll just continue on. So we could have, So as far as the code goes, we could have basically we could have, so if we double click this label, we have a form here. So I think there's other ways to do this, but we'll just start with this. We could probably declare a label somewhere here, maybe perhaps in here in the class, and then point it to something. So don't worry about that. We'll do it this way through the design window, and the next chapters we'll get on to doing that. So if we just, so what we could do is we could have an assignment statement to store a control, to store a value in a controls property. So suppose we have created a label control named output label, so we didn't name it. So let's just see what the name is. Sorry, it's just a bit different than Visual Studio. They have everything kind of in a different place. Here we go, names at the top. Okay, so we have that changed. So we could change the name of this, so we'll maybe just keep it as label 1. So what, if you notice, the code is actually a click. So it's basically it only changes when the label clicks. So here we could say, actually no, let's go with here. So we could say when we click the label, we could have, let's comment this over now. We'll talk about exceptions later on. So we have, if we just have label 1 dot text points to you click the label, something like that. So you click the label, save that. I don't think this is going to work if I show you guys the output, but if I just do that, so let's run that. I'm not sure if you guys can see that or not, because it might just pop up on top of the screen. Yeah, I believe it popped up on the screen. I'm not sure. I'll try to see if I can get that in the run window, but you'll see a form pop up on the screen. So what happens? So just click blueberries and the text box will change to you click the label. So hopefully that makes sense. Is there a way to put that in here? I'll probably have to figure that out later on. So hopefully you are able to follow along in your own IDE. Unfortunately, Windows Recorder just is only able to capture the current window. So I might have to look for another recording software. Wasn't able to find one that worked. So hopefully that'll be, hopefully you guys understand. Basically I just took the mouse like this, I clicked blueberries like that, and then the text changed to you click the label. So the equals sign is known as the assignment operator. So I just say points to. So you can say set to whatever you want. Some people say set to, some people say points to, I say point to points to. I think most people just say set to. There is set to. Some people say equals, but equals doesn't always make sense. Okay, so basically that was a click handler, so this is just for clicks. Alright, so let's move on to the next example. We can click a button. So we can have basically, we're going to have to add a few things here. So we can just click the design window. We can add 2 labels and a button. So click systems.windows.forms. I'll try to drag it. I don't think a drag works. No, I'll have to double click it. It should pop up in the top left corner of the window. Something wrong with that. Oh, okay, so maybe I'd have to click. You might have to just play around with it. Okay, I didn't want that. Let's try to delete that. Okay, so we have label 2, label 1, and label 2. And then, sorry for the colors, I might have to change that to high contrast or night mode, so we'll just click the systems.windows forms again, double click the button. Okay, so it does pop up right away. You just have to click the form, so all you have to do is just double click one of these tabs here, the button, double click the button, and then click the window. Okay, so that popped up. Right click, I'm going to right click that. Nope, nothing coming up. So I'm just going to hit the delete. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, so let's try Control Z. Okay, so Control Z works. So this will have to be changed a little bit here. This one will have to be changed as well. So I'm just going to resize them out a little bit bigger. It's kind of hard to see because of the high contrast mode I have on. I'll change that for the next one. So it should be good enough. We can just go with button 1, label 2, and label 1. Whoops. Okay, let's go back to the designer. And then we will. So we just have label 1 here, I believe. We have label 2, so we can see the name changing right there, and if you can see that, the highlighted line, so we just have label 1, label 2, and button 1. So we're going to change some of these properties, so we'll have the text here, not the name, so we'll just want text. What is a red fruit? Question mark. We'll leave that auto sizes off. Actually, no, is that, I think auto size is off, okay. I thought auto size was set to true, as maybe that's just in Visual Studio, I can't remember. So let's just click the font ellipse. Okay, here we go, now we got the size. There we go, perfect. So we have our ellipse there. We're just going to change that text alignment. Okay, I cannot see those. Middle center, so I'll have to change the high contrast mode to just normal mode after. No, I can't do that right now. So what is a red fruit here? We have label 2. Text will get changed to the answer. So we can just go cherries are red. Then we'll just click the font ellipse. Those ellipses are ellipsis or ellipse. I think it's ellipsis. I'm not sure. So we just double click basically it's 3 dots in a row horizontally, and then click a size, choose a font, whatever. Okay. And then we'll go with text align. We'll center that. What is a red fruit? Question mark. Cherries are red. And then we have the button. So we're going to want to set visibility to false. Okay, so let's just change that here. So let's just go back for a sec. So we have so a question label, which is basically what is a red fruit. We just called it label 1. So we have label 1. So we have auto size set to false. Okay, so that's fine. So then we have border style none. Font is whatever, text is fine, text align is fine. Okay, so let's go to the answer label. Okay, actually we aren't gonna set this text here, I think. So let's just cherries are red, let's go with an empty string in there. So we have, so the answer label auto size is false, border size is whatever. We could change, sorry, border style. We could change border style to fixed single, that should work. So text, the contents of the text property have been erased. Basically we set it to an empty string. You can use 2 empty quotes or just go with a blank line. So then we have text align set to middle center. We're done with that. So we have button. So whatever size, we have text. So I'll double click the button, get the bounding box up, and then I'll type, click the text property, take that, erase it. And I'll go with click for answer. We'll change the size of that. This is going to work if I change the size of that. There we go, perfect. So hopefully you guys can see that. Maybe you could just zoom in if you guys want. You guys could zoom in if you can't see that. Hopefully you can. Well, on a PC you can, or a computer. Not sure if a pad should be able to zoom in on a pad actually. I'm actually not sure if the YouTube app allows that. Hopefully you can see that. Try to do this along in your IDE if you can, so you understand what's happening. So now we have our form1.cs file here. So let's just go ahead and save that. You can just hit Control S, Control Shift plus S, okay. Or is there no save? No, that's something else. I'll just click it. So we'll just click that. It's using Visual Studio. I have it set to Visual Studio key maps. You can also choose IntelliJ or ReSharper. I just decided to choose Visual Studio because the docs and all that use Visual Studio. So now we'll open the code form1. Or whatever we have, form1.cs. So this is the code here. So we have label 1. This is label 1. So we're going to have to double click that. So double click label 2. Actually, we'll probably just double click all of them in this case. Okay, so we're missing something here? No, okay, so let's just comment these out for now. So the show answer button, which is basically, we call that label 2. So we have label 2. Actually, nope. Apologize. So we have we just need the button in this case. Actually, we don't need the rest of them. But all we really need to do is get to the button event handler. So we just need to say, okay, we'll label 2. So basically, this what's happening here is that when we click the button, we want something to change. We want an event to occur, so we want to say, okay, so when the button click occurs, then we want to change. So let's say here, when the button click occurs, we want to ... we want to say label 2 dot text points to cherries are red. Save all. So if I run, for you guys to run that, if I run that too, we can see that should be okay. Do you see a window pop up? Basically the exact same thing that's here right now in the form 1. Something's wrong. Okay. Said something wrong. Doesn't say an error. It says, okay, so it says build failed. Code, what's wrong here? Cherries are red. $22.50. Oh, whoops, sorry, there's a semicolon missing there. Okay, so we'll save that. I don't think Control S works here. And Control Shift S is bringing something up on my PC. So let's click save. So then we'll go with going back to the designer, clicking the run button in the top right. You can see how this looks if we debug it as well. So you're going to see the exact same window pop up. I could actually stop recording and record this, but that's going to be a little, I'll try to do that actually, at the end. Actually, okay, I'll try it. I hate compiling stuff and just working with the videos too much. But we'll just go with that, so so I'm going to click the answer, and so basically I'm just going to take this, I'm going to take the form 1 form, I'm going to click the answer button, click for answer, I'm going to click that, and in the text box you'll see the answer appear, cherries are red. So I'll close that, stop. Okay, so now that's pretty much the most of it. So the text property accepts strings only. You can put number types, which we'll be getting into soon. So a string, of course, is just characters in double quotes, so it only takes that type. So if we assign a result, so if we took our label 2 or button 1.text, point it to, for example, just 5. So we'll just do an example of that here. So if I would have just changed like label 2.text points to 5, that would have been an error. So that won't work because text only accepts strings. So to clear a label, you just set it to so we could probably click it once. Actually, no, that's not going to work. We could have another button for a clear button. We could implement a clear button, same thing, and then pretend we have a clear button. Maybe let's get out of here. So let's just say we have a clear button event handler. Or, yeah, so a clear button. Let's just say we have a clear button here. So then we have, so if we just went, like button 2, or no, sorry, so if we just went label 2 dot text points to an by empty string, I mean like that, so it's 2 quotations or 2 double quotation marks with nothing inside, so that means there's no space. So if you're confused about that, that just means delete the space in between, so it's just like that, and then semicolon. It's a good trick to know. You use that trick across all languages, even Python, Java, C, anything. JavaScript, it's a good trick to know, because sometimes you need to have something as an empty string to start, and then later on you use that string for something else. Or the other way around, you have a string and then you set it to empty like this. So it works as a clear in C# for GUIs. Alright, so let's move on to, oh actually that's going to conclude actually the first part, so in the next part we'll go over a language. Actually I'm not sure if we need to exactly do that one. It's pretty much exactly what we just did now, just 2 more extra buttons. If we don't need to do it, we'll skip it. get to some more of the core concepts a little bit faster. So thanks for watching, guys. If you guys liked the video, you can like and subscribe to the channel for more programming and investing tutorials. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.